Joining us is one of the best players ever to wear a Jewel Cardinal uniform, and don't be modest, Erica Ferguson is here with us, who graduated, what has it been, 3 years now?
3 years.
Wow. Do you miss playing? I know you're still involved, but do you get that competitive thing going where you really need to get out there?
Oh, yeah, definitely miss it. Actually, last time I was here, I was just thinking it was when I came and played them for the Living the Dream.
Oh, yeah, earlier this year, yeah. Well, you didn't make it to Alumni Day. I didn't see you there, at least. Did you play in the Alumni game this year?
No, we had a game on the road.
Okay.
I was unable to make it.
Let's talk about that. What are you doing now?
I am a graduate assistant at the University of Central Missouri down in Warrensburg.
Okay.
So we are also Division II.
So you found your way to Division II. The Cardinals made their move as an institution, but you're working in a Division II school. How is that going?
It's going well. It's definitely different than the NAIA. And when I got there, it's kind of a culture shock a little bit.
How
with
so?
All the different rules and just the different things going on. Like when the girls are scrimmaging, before season and the preseason, as a coach, you can't watch them play.
Right.
You can only work with them so many hours. And I was just like, oh, this is different.
Well, what's your role like there? What do you do?
Some of my main roles are the strength and conditioning for the team. So I did all of our preseason conditioning, and I do our lifting and kind of maintaining all that. I do all of our travel arrangements and organization. Okay. So the buses, hotels, food, all of that. Do a lot of the on-floor coaching, do academic supervision. I kind of dip and dabble everywhere. It's wherever I'm needed. Now,
you're working on your degree at the same time as a graduate assistant. I guess that's part of the deal, right?
I am. That's part of the sweet deal. I'm almost done with it, so
Good.
I'm glad, very blessed, and ready to be done with school. It's been a while, but I'll be done this May, and I'm getting it in Sport and Athletic Business Administration.
Erica Ferguson, again, is our guest here, who played here I guess it's been 3 years since you've been out of school. But okay, so you're in the Division II ranks, you're coaching now. Where is that going to take you? What's your degree in, and where do you want to go?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. When I took this position, I took it because I would be able to work on the strength and conditioning side and the basketball side of coaching, so I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go. I got my bachelor's here from Jewel in business administration, and now getting my master's kind of on the sports side of business. I kind of wanted to be well-rounded for when I left. I just haven't decided if I'm going to keep coaching or go more of that business side of sport. You
got to be careful, though, Ferg, because that coaching thing gets in your blood.
Oh, yeah, it does. I'm competitive for sure. I've actually just started to look into getting into possibly collegiate reffing. I do a lot of reffing in the summer.
I bet you'd be good at that.
I like to get up and down, so I was like, I can still stay involved.
I never thought about that, but I'll bet you'd be good at that.
So I've been looking at that. But definitely still work out a lot. I'm doing CrossFit now. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Wow.
That. Yeah.
Do you do any of the triathlons or anything? Do you have one of those 20.6 stickers in your back window or whatever they are?
I do not. I have not ran a marathon. I've ran a half marathon before. I would love to do a triathlon, but I can't really swim, so I got to get that down first. But right now I'm do CrossFit just kind of for the competitive aspect of it. I love to compete with it. The Open starts on Wednesday, so I've been training for that a little bit.
Okay. Erica Ferguson is our guest here. The Cardinals lead at halftime 44-30 over Bellarmine. I'm going to run some things by you just so folks have an idea of the kind of player you were here. First of all, an All-American for the NAIA 2008-2009. If any of this is inaccurate, make sure you tell me. But 6th all-time scoring at William Jewell, 4th all-time in rebounding, and the one that kind of surprised me a little bit, 9th all-time in assists. That's all-time career marks for you. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't know that we had a more valuable player, simply for the fact that I know all the years you were here, I think you played every one of the 5 positions. I remember when Jill was going to put you in as a point guard, and probably did have you play point guard for a while.
It was my junior year, so what was that, 08-09, when Jess Stewart tore ACL.
Right.
We had Erica Akins tore ACL
That's right.
She was our 5. Haley Stockton tore ACL. She was our backup 3, and then our starting point guard tore ACL all in the same year. So I had a couple games where I would tip off and then get the ball back and set up some plays. So.
You're kind of a latter-day Magic Johnson, aren't you?
Yeah, whatever the team needed.
Well, I think for the most part, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the time you were a forward. I don't know how much you played the 5 for us, but one of the most tenacious rebounders I've ever seen. And like I said, you could play anywhere on the court. Did you have a favorite spot, a favorite that you like to play?
Definitely forward was my position.
Forward was it?
I love to drive and crash the lane, and Well, it's kind of funny because I'll do scout team a lot for my
Sure.
team that I coach now, and a lot of the times I'll run the point guard because I have kind of the best ball handling skills for our men's team, that practice squad that comes in.
Right.
But as I run the point guard, I mean, most point guards aren't running in there and crashing the board, so the girls will be like, Coach, like the point guard doesn't do that. Like I'll just crash, and I'll be like, well, you should box me out anyway. But they're like, nobody in our league is going to do that.
I don't remember you talking a lot of trash on the floor. Do you talk a little bit more trash now that you're not actually
Sometimes I do, just because, my players, they've never really seen me play, so I'm just like, you know what, if I wasn't on scout team, I would take this to you right now.
Well, I'm telling you, if you watch it on the web as an archive version, she's every bit as good as you want her to be, because she was one of the best that ever played here. We talked about the rankings and the career stats, but kind of an interesting story how you came to Jewel, because as I recall, you were not highly recruited.
I was not highly recruited.
Tell that story.
It's kind of diamond in the rough. I was actually, Jewel kind of found me when they were recruiting one of my teammates in high school. And I was a sixth man off the bench, so I didn't play a whole lot in high school. I just kind of came in and would play defense and rebound. I'd probably average 1.3 points a game. I don't know, something I didn't really ever look to score. So they saw me and kind of were like, hey, can you come up for a visit? And so I was like, I guess. I mean, no one was really looking at me. And I was like, I guess it'd be fun to keep playing, So I came up and had one of the worst scrimmages ever
really?
to mankind. Oh, yeah, I don't know how I got a scholarship here. I came in and just traveled, and I remember I ricocheted the ball off the backboard once on a layup.
I don't think I've heard this part of the story.
Oh, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And Hillary and Jess, they later told me that, when Coach was like, this is who's coming in next year, and they were like, whoa, the girl who ricocheted the ball off the backboard is coming here? And she was like, yeah. And, so they're like, we really weren't thrilled to have you come here at first, but then you kind of settled in and we're like, okay, she's good.
I don't think I'd ever heard that story. That's a great one. You have a favorite memory of it playing at Jewel?
Favorite memory?
Is there one thing that stands out? And while you think about that, I'll kind of fill folks in here. For the first 2 years, Jewel was NAIA Division II, and then we made the move to NAIA Division I. And all 4 of those years, the Jewel women's program went to the NAIA National Tournament. So they were very good teams that you played on.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. The 2 I remember the most are probably my most recent year, my senior year, when we won conference outright and then went through and won the conference tournament.
Right.
So
that had not been done very often.
Yeah, no, that was the first time we had done that since I had been playing here. And then definitely my junior year, the year before, when we had to go through and win the entire conference tournament to keep going. We were seeded as a 4th seed in the tournament, and we had to play Mid-America at home, and we won that, and we had to go to Evangel, who's the number 1 seed. And if you've ever been to Evangel, you've been to Evangel.
Yep.
And it's hard to play there. So we had to go to Evangel and play there and won, and then we had to go to Benedictine and play for the championship.
I remember that game very clearly.
Packed to that gym. I've never seen that gym so packed that it was just loud and crazy, and we did it. We won. And then I guess for me specifically, I had hurt my ankle in the first game. If you remember that, I hurt my ankle, and I came back in, and then I was on crutches for the rest of the time.
Don't remember that, no.
I was on crutches, and I crutched to the Evangel game, and then I got braced and taped and played on adrenaline, and then I had to go right back to crutches after the game. And
I don't remember that.
I was on crutches that whole tournament, but
that's neat.
Adrenaline, I loved it.
And I remember the Benedictine game for sure. I kind of do remember some of the game down in Springfield, but I do remember Benedictine. That was one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Hey, the team that you played on with Hillary and Jessica, that group, how would they have done in Division II?
I was actually talking to someone about this not that long ago. I think we would have done great in Division II. We are definitely a competitive group, and we would have rose to the challenge. We love playing Division II schools. We had a couple Division II schools we would play early on in the year, and Coach would always joke or poke at me that, you always play so much better when you play against the higher teams. And she's like, you need to play like that all the time. It's like, yeah, but, we got to prove ourselves that it was always.
You coach anybody like that? You coach anybody like that?
Not really. I would say they all kind of play to a high level. We have some girls that could definitely play Division I, though, that they play at a high level. So, yeah, we have some girls that. I guess I haven't really seen that because we haven't played any Division I schools. So anyone that we play is kind of at our level, or NAIA or JUCO or something. But I would see some of them really stepping up if we went to a D1. They'd be like, oh, okay. Like,
Yep. Well, sooner or later you're going to find somebody like that, though, and you can relate back to that. Finally, your experience at Jewel, and I'm assuming that you felt it was a good one based on what you said at your senior speech when you got a chance to talk in that last banquet. But can you kind of sum it up for me a little bit about playing at Jewel?
Yeah, I came to Jewel and didn't really know what to expect. Like I said, I didn't play in high school, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just kind of go try this out. I didn't know a whole lot about the school at the time, and I look back now, and some people who have seen me play or play with me, and they're like, where did you play at? And I'm like, William Jewell, and they're like, why? Because it's a small school. It's a Division II or it's the NAIA at my time that no one's ever heard of, and it's like, why did you play so small? You
Sure.
could have played bigger, but. Looking back, there are times I wish I had went bigger and kind of got the perks of playing bigger, but at the same time, I got a great education, and my teammates, my coach, wouldn't have traded for the world. So, I definitely loved it.
I lied to you. I've got one more question for you. What are you going to say?
What am I going to say?
At the Hall of Fame speech when you were inducted into the Jewel Hall of Fame? Because if you're not, that's a crime, and you should be. In fact, I think that whole team probably should be.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I was like, when we're coming back for our
you gotta wait
100 games.
You got to wait 10 years, but you're going to be there. Yeah, you're going to be there.
Oh, man, yeah.
She is one of the best that ever played here. It's been a pleasure to visit with you again. Thank you so much for doing this.
Me.
Erica Ferguson has been our guest on the HyVee Halftime Report.